So far, we've shed light on some of the falsities present in dairy advertisements. As consumers, how do we uncover the truth? How can we find the answers in research? How can we find them online? Maybe in a book? The problem with finding unbiased research is that most dairy-related studies are funded by the dairy industry. The credibility of much of the research concerning nutrients in dairy product is threatened by industry funding.
The Huffington Post recently criticized a research study that purports drinking non-dairy milk leads to shorter children. Interestingly, the lead author of the study, which was featured on CNN, is Jonathan Maguire, who, quote, has a long history of both receiving money from the dairy industry and of publishing studies with unsubstantiated conclusions that are favorable for the dairy industry. The support of research from someone like Maguire is dangerous in terms of spreading false and potentially harmful information to the public. Maguire has lied about the amount of money he's taken from organizations like the Dairy Farmers of Ontario as well as the Dairy Farmers of Canada.
There may be telltale signs which indicate that a study being done is backed by the dairy industry. For instance, in Milk and Dairy Products as Functional Foods, there is a preface to the technical series by the chairman of the publication committee for the Society of Dairy Technology, which states, "The Society has embarked on a project with Wiley Blackwell to produce a technical series of dairy-related books to provide an invaluable source of information for practicing dairy scientists and technologists, covering the range from small enterprises to modern large-scale operation." The preface bluntly lets us know that the research being done is backed by an organization which promotes dairy products.
This book also makes many controversial statements about dairy products. For instance, they state that only a small segment of the population are adversely affected by fat, protein, and lactose, when in fact, according to the NIH, roughly 65% of the world population is lactose intolerant. They also say a bias against the consumption of milk should be based on real scientific facts and weighed up against the health benefits of consuming milk and dairy products, implying that the research against dairy is not based on real science.
The aforementioned book, Milk and Dairy Products as Functional Foods, decries the public hostility towards dairy consumption and believes that the resolution can be found in techno-fixes such as low-fat milk or reduced lactose milk. However, in the long run, techno-fixes are not a permanent solution. These techno-fixes are part of a ruse to save the industry from the decline in dairy consumption.
In the article published by Roger Collier, we can see that there is a surge of studies being published because the federal government and the dairy industry are pumping money into the research in order to promote dairy. If the word science is on it, consumers trust it a lot more. The one goal of these research projects are to produce positive results because the industry-sponsored researchers have an economic incentive as they will not receive funding unless appropriate results are produced. Marianne Nessel tracks studies with connections to food industries. The article states, of the 168 studies she came across between March 2015 and March 2016, only 12 had results unfavorable to a sponsor's interest.
Unfortunately, as consumers, we are burdened with using both our time and any resources available to us to find out if certain products are safe to consume. This sort of consumption is better known as precautionary consumption. Whether you find these videos compelling or not, please be careful about the products you are consuming and make sure to check multiple sources when buying a product, especially those not backed by companies profiting off the product in question.